Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Kickstarter Stress Test. And we're doing something a little bit different today. We're looking at a previous campaign that has launched and finished a while ago, that has already delivered, and yes, that I backed myself. So let's just make me a little bit smaller. Well, first of all, let me say this series is really targeted at people that are planning to launch their own Kickstarter and want to sort of have this overlook of the psychology of their audience as they look through their page. What gets them to buy, what gets them excited, what gets them to read on, and most importantly, what gets them to back out and, lose interest or lose focus. That's why I call it the Kickstarter Stress Test. So I usually go in campaigns trying to pretend that this game is for me. I don't bring my personal opinion of what I like and what I don't like. And I try to see if the campaign page is built in a way, the video, the images, the copywriting, gets me to back the game. Okay, and I just, wanted to take the opportunity to have a look at FlipDie, because FlipDie is a campaign which just really did it for me. So this time I am going to be me, Ori Kagan, and I'm going to look at this, and I think this will be another opportunity to also do an unboxing. We'll show this to you in a moment. So, that being said, let's dive in as if this campaign has just launched. So, first of all, let's look at the journey which brought me to this. First of all, the name, okay? The FlipDie. The first dice you flip as a coin, patent approved. No subtitle. Or I don't think there was, oh yeah, there is a subtitle, but first of all this, because I need to remember that things are structured a little differently. But just that name, and I remember seeing in an ad, it was such a unique concept. The first thing that came to my mind was a question. What? What does that mean? How does that work? This is something completely new I've never heard of. And how can this relate to your game? I mean, if it's a game or it's another accessory similar to like this, the way you call your product or the way you give that, first subtitle, that is your first opportunity to make someone stop. Okay? How can you do this for your game? What is that combination of words that make people think this is something I need? That's basically raising questions that people want answered immediately. Patent approved is also insane. This means that this is something that is proven to be completely new. There is an actual patent that was approved for this. So the more questions you raise, and they need to be good questions, questions that raise curiosity, that gets you to the first click. And then we have, right after that, the 7 dice coin set, made out of metal for RPG, tabletop, or just for fun. And then by your studios accepting orders, I think this was added later. This gives me a lot of answers already. Okay, I'm like, is this for D&D? Is this what I think it is? And then it says, yes, this is like a dice set, but just as coins made out of metal. I still have a lot of questions. How does this even work? So next thing, we have the image, and the image has changed. I think it was way different back when I backed it. But let's have a look at this image right now. This image answers further more questions, but it's still giving me giving me answers, but giving me more questions. So first of all, we have the coin here, which looks amazing. You can see the render quality or the picture. You can feel the right, there's embossed and debossed. I don't remember the difference between them, but you can feel the texture on your finger as you're looking at it. And then we see the little ball here. You see the numbers, you see the dice, and you get it. At this point, you get it. The first dice that you flip like a coin. Is that practical? Wouldn't it ruin it? Wouldn't it, how can it make sure that it's actually has the same sort of randomness as a dice? Doesn't it harm the surface you do it? What happens if, I flip it too high? I have all these questions. How does it work with smaller, with a D4? How would that look like? I have all these questions. How much does it cost? Is it worth it? Do I even need that? I think this campaign is a perfect example of getting you to buy something that you want rather than need. Because we have a solution for this. It's called just regular dice. They work. There's beautiful dice. I have many in my collections. I don't need this, but for some reason I'm so curious. I want it. So let's dive into the video real quick. And let me just put on headphones. Okay, so I'm using a new recording software, so I hope we're getting the sound, and if not, we'll just talk about what we can see. Okay.
This is actually a D20 dice.
What a start. He basically just goes, this is like a D20 dice. Boom. Okay. Live action footage, it has that sort of a YouTube-y, Instagram-y, TikTok-y feeling to it. Okay. It's not that the quality isn't that high, but then he flicks it and it goes into this beautiful render, and you can't stop watching from this point on. You just have to know more.
This is FlipDie, an immersive take on polyhedral dice like you've never seen before.
So immediately we see an actual practical use of this, okay? Not as flashy. Again, this is very homemade-y, because that's exactly how you're going to use it. So you see it actually flipping, and it works.
A full 7 die set for gaming that you flip.
Now we get some beauty shots, okay? We got the practical use, which helps me. Why is that shot so important right there? Because it locks me into my own experience. Suddenly, I am that person sitting around that table, flipping that die. So I can now imagine myself owning this. That is so important. Okay.
Like coins. My name is Tanner, and I love...
Okay, so we're in the 25-second mark. And now I know what the product is. I know how it feels like to own the product. Now we get to that next level of the story, okay? The story behind this. Where did this even come from? And what did he say his name is? Tanner? Yeah, Tanner is going to connect to us now on an emotional level. Because the thing that we're missing now is trust. How much am I willing to pay for it? Will it actually hold up? There's all these questions that I have before I'm actually willing to pay for this. So let's see if he answers them.
Bringing people together. And nothing brings people together better than gaming, and that's why I've made it my career. So at Yara Studios, I only invent stuff that I want to have at my table. Things that I wish existed, and I'm very excited to show you my favorite thing yet. This is actually a D12, one of 7 in the first coin dice set from Yara.
So basically what we see here, he gave us his story. He's the type of person, he's just like us. He decided that he was missing something in his gaming. We all feel like we could improve our gaming experience, especially when it comes to D&D. And as dungeon masters, we're basically crafting the world, we're crafting the story, and we're crafting the experience. Or like players, where we want to be immersed. We want to show off in a way. Our characters always want to do these crazy finishing moves, or we describe our character and how we look like. The same goes for us as players. We want to have a nice set of dice, and this is something you bring to the table. Here, I'm already teasing out the promo dice coin. I will talk about that in a moment. Then we get this beautiful
Yara Studios. Flip it like you would a regular coin. Slopes and slanted angles guide a ball bearing to a random number generated every time. We want to launch this idea.
And now I get it. I get how it works. And the final pieces of the puzzle are blocking together. You see how the story is forming here? And slowly I'm moving the needle more and more to I want this to I need this.
As a full 7 die set,
Oh my
creating everything
god,
you
you
need.
see, he added another level. It's not just one. You have all these custom mades. You have all gonna have all these colors, all these metals, and I'm just getting more and more excited. I'm like, I thought that I just need one. I just needed a D20, but I guess I'm gonna need more.
Any game. Because precision and randomness are so important.
Okay, this is answering another question, another obstacle that we need to cross. I'm like, would it actually have the same, rates as a D20? Will it be a fair thing compared to a D20? I'm losing the words here, but he's proving it.
To us, each coin is molded in a zinc alloy and has a machine-tooled interior.
And you say I'm taking so long here on the video. 10 minutes we just talked about the video because the video is just so good. My experience was after I watched the video, I backed it. I didn't have to look at anything else. There's one more thing I had to look at, and that was the price. And you'll see here something interesting that what happened in my journey. So let's just go through this. It gets into the coloring, gets into the details. This was an important shot because that answered another question. I'm like, if I'm throwing this on the table, wouldn't it ruin it? And, this shot basically proved that it would be safe. And now we get some feedback from real players, more great renders. We can't wait for you to use them at your table. This is also telling me you can't wait to use them at your table. And then that's it. Okay, so that is just like a perfect example of breaking away from the mold of the video and just finding all the objections your backers could come up with and bringing it to the forefront. Okay, and you can clearly see it was very, very successful. And then we have a few GIFs. This is a very good way of showing GIFs that actually give you info. You see how they clean it, how you can throw a lot of them at once, just all the selling points at once, and it doesn't run too fast in a way that is confusing. Then you have what people are saying. Basically everything the video covered is sort of repeated here in a way. So if you missed out on the video, you still get this info. Then we get the early bird. Okay, the early bird had two things. One is a better overall price, and two, an exclusive coin, a D20. And I think this came into play just a few days after the campaign hit. So first thing I did was I looked and I was like, I think I just want the D20. Okay, I just want one coin. It just looks so good. I just want one of these. So I just pledged for the one coin. And then at one point they added that extra, if you add the whole set, okay, you get an extra coin. And I'm just like, I actually really, really want the set. It's just really expensive. It's $100, and also shipping to Israel will be insane. But I honestly, I was just scrolling and looking at these gifts, and it was just like, I don't need this, but I really, really want it. I mean, it's just, I can imagine, and I'm a person that loves fidgeting it, and just the physicality of it, being able to feel it, made me really want to have the full set. So I backed the full set, and I made sure to remind myself in the last 48 hours. In the last 48 hours, I somehow got this sort of buyer's remorse, and that can also happen with Kickstarter campaigns. And at the last moment, I switched back to just one coin. Also, my financial situation at the moment wasn't that good. So it was just like, I cannot, there's only I will be using this. I don't have time to play too much D&D anymore. Let's just go back down. And then, a few times passed, and then the pledge manager opened. And when the pledge manager opened, suddenly my financial situation turned, and that deep want of, I really want that full set, sort of came back. And then I switched again. It's just this roller coaster of emotions. And, I never really felt bad about it. I was just like, I really wanted to feel good and not regret my purchase decision. And I feel like they were very fair. I still, even if I switch at the pledge manager, I managed to get the extra bonus coin. This is it here. And then I can still get the set and still get the coin and feel good about it. Because honestly, I felt they did such a good job about communicating why this is a great product. They showed its uses. Even if you don't use it, it's a thing that is fun to have. It's literally one of the things that they said, you know, it's okay. It's okay to want this. And that's the thing that ultimately got me to buy it. And finally, you know, I live in Israel. Things take so long to get here. I had to pay a lot of shipping, but I didn't feel bad at this point because I knew I will be okay with this decision. I want this. I want to have it on my shelf. I want to have it by my keyboard so I can sort of play around with it while I'm working. And you know, what a delightful presentation. You get it, you see the box, you see this art. It has this ancient feeling. No text on the outside, just on the bottom, so you don't see it. And then you open it up and look at this experience once you open it up. Okay, so you get this beautiful magnetic hold, and look at that. Look at that treasure. This is really a prime example. Wow, this is, I'm still looking at these. This is so good. This is a prime example of showing how to get people, not to get people, but how to invite people to indulge in a way in buying something that they would want and they don't need, but something that is utterly unique, okay? They've never seen before, proving, you know, giving that statement as early as possible, and then, you know, doubling down on it, proving that this is indeed something they've never seen or experienced before. And you want to be in on it. You want to join in the community of 17,000 people that will own this thing first, okay? Being an early adapter in a way, and being able to get all these exclusives, and, you know, giving, and I you know, you could say, oh, this was like a lot of marketing tactics and things like that, but look how my journey was affected by all these marketing tactics. I am happy now. I'm happy to own this. I almost didn't. And thanks to these marketing tactics, the early bird, the extra coin, being able to change my mind so late, finally got me to the point where I felt comfortable. Every expense felt like it was worth it. And now I own something I'm proud of and I'm happy for. These are so freaking good. Look at that spider. So I'm really curious to how you can turn your own product to sort of this unresistible offer, and think about the journey that your backers are going to go. Because, you know, Kickstarters are take across a long time, okay? They have a lot of time to decide. There is that timer, but how do you get them to not feel buyer's remorse, to really go through it in the end, and to have enough time to really change their minds? So think about it, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to enjoy this product and start flipping these. And yep, keep a lookout for the next video. Share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Have a look at this. Oops, the other way around. All right, and listen to the sound.